30 seconds to go, and the crowd is still. The flag falls, and the Sterling sprints across to his car. The unbearable tension subsides in the sound and fury of the Le Mans start.
That was to epitomize the spirit of the 60s, the E-Type.
Wow, some special memories. I think nobody's going to deny the fact that racing has always been in Jaguar's DNA, but they've kind of been harping on about the old stuff for far too long. They've had nothing new and inspiring and exciting to capture the new breed of Jaguar owner. That was until this came along. The F-Type really was a game changer for the brand. For Jaguar in South Africa to show their commitment to the new sporty persona that the brand's taken on, they needed to get involved in an event that really was going to sell this motorsport heritage. There was one such event, the Simola Hillclimb. It needed a sponsor, and Jaguar came to the party. It was a case of head in the clouds for motoring enthusiasts at the news that the Simola Hillclimb was back on the calendar, with Jaguar as title sponsor for the next 3 years. Knysna is a breathtaking part of our country, and with unrivaled views across Knysna Lagoon and the Heads, Simola Hotel, Country Club and Spa is perfectly positioned. But this exclusive 5-star venue isn't just about stunning views and world-class golf. For us petrolheads, it's about a 1.9 kilometre stretch of tar snaking up the Simola Hill that separates the men from the boys. And the boys came out to play. An all-access approach allows spectators to really get into the action, but it's the incredible array of exotic supercars, purpose-built race cars, and highly modified machines that give this event its unique character. For Jaguar, this was so much more than just a sponsorship deal. They were well and truly in the thick of the action, hungry to prove that racing is really in their blood. It's in their DNA, whether you're piloting an F-Type or an XF. But the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb isn't just about the latest and the greatest. As with Jaguar, it's about celebrating a rich motorsport heritage. So for the purists out there, Classic Car Friday was a wonderful trip down memory lane.
This is Jaguar's heritage racing. Go back to the 60s and 70s. Jag was there, Le Mans. So for us, when Jag said they're going to sponsor this, we were over the moon.
Classic Car Friday really brought an incredible collection of cars to Knysna, and there really was something for everyone. Ford Capri Piranha, plenty of MGs. And can you believe it, there was even a Corvette Roadster. Some cars like Brian Bruce's Ford Model A Speedster, dating back more than 80 years, a real flashback to the pioneering spirit of the early races. And And of course, we can't forget those iconic Jaguar E-types. But it was Franco Scribanti and his Chevron B19 that really stole the show, setting a new hill climb record and ensuring he was the topic of conversation at Friday night's cocktail function. Back to the future we go.
I think it is going to be a great marriage, and I really hope that it's going to be a very, very long one. I think the fit of Jaguar and the hill climb is something very, very special. And the reason I think it's special is because racing's in our blood.
Peace and tranquility. That is what you feel when you stand here at the Simola Hotel Country Club in Spa. But that is all about a change, because the hills are alive with the sound of. Oh, what a way to start the day. With champagne and sushi a distant memory, it was time to get down to business for the competitors. Now, for the many Jaguar fans on the hill, a lot was expected from the E-Type successor, and the two 5-litre V8 supercharged F-Types competing at the event were in very experienced hands. Barry Engel, with single-seater racing experience under the belt, was super smooth, carving real clean lines up the hill, and his neck-and-neck battle with Davy in the super competitive A8 class was something the crowd was loving. Onboard footage really gives you a fantastic idea of how bumpy the run up the hill is, and with no runoff, intense concentration is required at all times. The final twisty section, taking drivers up over the finish line, is probably the most technical part of the run, and you can see the stiffer, lighter all-aluminium body is certainly working hard with the dynamic direction changes, a real test of man and machine. But Barry and his F-Type certainly had found a good rhythm. Davy Willefear has raced production cars at the highest level in SA, and he was chomping at the bit to get his run at the event. Now, the F-Type, with a launch time of 0 to 104.3 seconds, certainly was looking impressive off the line, and that is critical to getting a good time at the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb. The twin Vortex supercharger gives the F-Type plenty of shove. 364 kilowatts, 625 newton meters of torque, and Davy was lighting his baby up.
It seems like Jaguar is on a roll. They're back, and people have to take note of that. I mean, they really have to take note of that. I mean, the other manufacturers are already having a look at us and looking at what we're doing. I never felt one moment of understeer in all the runs that we did, because the car's so well balanced.
But the F-Types were up against some super stiff competition, especially from Aaron Stuprier and Jacques Wheeler in their McLaren MP4 12Cs.
I didn't think for one moment that we would be able to play around with the McLarens, and there's one ahead of me and one behind me, and I'm smack bang in the middle of the thing with a stock standard road going car that you can buy from the showroom floor. How's that? That's phenomenal.
The split-screen view perfectly illustrates not only the different driving lines, but also the different driving styles between Barry and Davy, who both consistently were clocking times in the low 47s. That is bloody fast. The F-Type looks red hot, and it sounds even better. Ooh, what have we here? Jaguar's new beast, the XF-RS. And that would be Car Magazine's beast, Dion Hubert at the wheel.
It's very easy to interact with the car. It's easy to drift. It's easy to play with. So its character is quite different to an M5 or the E63, for instance, which are also both rear-wheel drive and very powerful. It's got a wonderful character, wonderful car to be inside. It's on wonderful sound systems. A lot of things about the car that are just amazing.
Well, Dion certainly kept the crowds enthralled on the circuit and between his runs. The XFR is very happy to set the smoke alarms off. But what makes the hill climb such a challenge?
The first thing is it's very short. So your planning beforehand is very important because you don't have any time. There's no warm-up lap or anything. So you actually have to, in the pit lane, get yourself ready to go, because it's only like under 50 seconds for most cars. It's not very long at all. So in the time that the normal race car driver is warming up and getting his head into gear, you're already back at the back going, what happened? You know, so you have to prepare right here in the pit lane.
The man who has raced everything, this was a first.
It comes off the line like a rocket ship. I mean, at the run to the first corner, it's a joke. You just plant the thing. I'm obviously using paddle shift, which I'm not used to. I'm from the other generation. And I just bang, 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 third gear, turn it in and just climb on the power. Just climb on the power up the hill.
The Range Rover Sport with Peter at the wheel broke into the 49s, a real talking point among spectators. Racing is in our blood may sound like a sexy advertising line, but for Jaguar South Africa, they really are living the slogan with a very special company project.
It's been a sort of couple of years coming. We've had the desire to do it, and it's just all around passion and that sort of thing. And I've got the most passionate department, I reckon, when it comes to this. So we've taken the first aluminium car that was in the country in 2002. It was our training car. Technology, obviously we can't train on it, so the best next thing for it was a race car. So it's all been done in our own time, weekends, nights. It's just a good thing to get different guys in different departments involved. But we've got to keep the Queen's dashboard in there. We still do have the car phone. You never know what we may need it for. So we've kept all the essentials, but pretty much bare strip out. We still got loads of work to do on the engine and transmission, but for a first day out, it's been a great achievement.
Oh, Rory doing a great job keeping Jaguar's pet project out of the Simola landscape. The air suspension certainly does have its benefits. The Jaguar Simola Hillclimb was their first outing, but believe me, it certainly won't be the last.
3, 2, 1, up!
I guess one of the best jobs about being in the motor media business is that you do get to go to some really special places and of course drive some incredible cars. What makes it even more exciting is when Jaguar says to you, what we want you to do is take our cars, drive them as fast as possible in a competitive format. That's what they've done with the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb Media Challenge. 5 of the top media drivers, all of them with racing experience, have been given the XF Turbo Petrols. What I can tell you is they are a super competitive bunch. This media challenge is going to get very hot.
I'll drive anything, and it's good fun. And you know, the 5 cars are going to be so similar, so the basics are all the same. Just keep it smooth and the momentum going.
It's actually quite impressive. I mean, we expected these cars to be a lot further down the overall field than they are. And now that we're looking at the times, they're actually halfway up the leaderboard, ahead of some serious stuff.
I think if you can stitch it all together on the day, then it's you. But I mean, it's literally thousands. So I mean, you hiccup and you've lost 1,000.
This is such a short course. You don't have time to think about have you made a mistake. So you just give it your all and hope it comes out okay.
I'd really like to get into the top 3. Otherwise, I might just go back to the hotel and you know. Yeah. Well, even worse.
Well, after 5 practice runs, the media challengers headed into the qualifying runs, and with each run, the pressure was mounting. Only 3 of the 5 would contest the class final, so trust me, gloves were most certainly off.
I'm a realist. Expect the worst and be pleasantly surprised when you do well. So, I don't know, I'd like to be in the top 3.
Mark Jones had started the weekend slowly, but was picking up pace nicely with each run. Was the wily old fox playing mind games? And the man they were all chasing, super fast, super consistent, Jesse Adams. Another seasoned campaigner, Angus Thompson, had played the cool underdog hand the whole weekend, but his times were starting to tell a very different story.
so far Jesse's still edging it in front, and then it's the two heavyweights, Mark and I. So we're loving that over the two lightweights. So that's all good.
I think I've kind of pushed it to the limit now, but maybe there's more. Hopefully there's some more.
I haven't quite got past him yet, so let's see what happens at the end of the day.
Still friends?
I didn't know we were.
Always.
Stuart Grant had been quietly going about his business the whole weekend, and his initial times hadn't signalled alarm bells for the other competitors. Could he be the dark horse?
Yes, it's difficult because those times are so close and you don't even know when you've had a good run or a bad run anymore. I mean, you come back down and you don't know if you're first or fifth.
Well, the time for kicking back and relaxing was over. After 11 runs up the hill, this was it, the final run to select our top 3 media challengers. The times were so close, literally less than a second, separating first and fifth position. Angus was first off the line. Would his wider line through 2 be the difference? Mark was all focused, deciding to let his driving do the talking. And with starts like that off the line, carrying as much speed as possible up the hill into turn 3 was vital. But the question everyone was asking, could they beat the American? Jesse certainly opting for a tighter line through turn 2 and really pitching his XF into turn 3. Was Thomas as cool as a Stig, or was that visor hiding the tension? Well, you see Thomas running really wide through turn 2. Could that have cost him his quest for the top 3 berth? Last out of the block, Stuart had a pretty sedate start, but he did look super quick exiting turn 3. The visuals show you just how close it was exiting the S's, with Jesse bottom left, a nose ahead, but the tricky direction changes in the run to the line would ultimately reward the smoothest.
Do you want me to read out? I'll read out the times from that session. Jesse, you did a 54.222. Angus, you did a 54.301. And Stuart, you did a 54.195. Hey!
Oh wow, the look on Stuart's face says it all. What a time to pull the Jaguar out the bag, literally, with the fastest time of the weekend in the last qualifying run.
The camera guys were messing around with the camera and I lost concentration. I forgot to switch off traction control. As I pulled off, I thought to my, bugger, I've left the traction control off. I thought the start was a bit slow.
We don't know what to say about that, especially because now we don't get another chance to try again with it on. Maybe it is quicker, but we'll never know.
I think off the line's so critical, man. He's been struggling off the line, but he's just dropped, in half a second, and he did it like on the money, right in the last qualifying session. So, that's some serious BMT. It's good.
So now I don't know what to do because I don't know now if the traction control on or off is fastest for the final.
A lot to think about before they head into the class final, and a perfect opportunity perhaps to play some mind games. So this is it for Angus. Could he string together that perfect lap? This is what makes this format of racing so exciting. It doesn't matter what you ran before. It's all or nothing. One last push for glory and a sedate 3-kilometer drive back to the pits through the Simola estate, contemplating, had you done enough? Well, Stuart must be super pumped after his final run, but had he delivered his best one run too soon? Was traction on off the line? Had he created enough uncertainty to make the others drop the ball? Miss a brake marker, run slightly wide on an exit? Only time would tell. Well, Jesse was Mr. Consistency the whole weekend. The others upped their game and he raised the bar yet again. Would his superb form seem through, or had Stuart finally given him something to think about? What I do know is that Jaguar and their XFs provided a cracker of a media challenge. Well, in the end, Stewart backed up his qualifying run with another peach run up the hill, taking the Jaguar Simola Media Challenge title by the slimmest of margins. Keen to get in on the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb action were Jaguar's VIP guests. The precious cargo was safely piloted up the course by Jaguar experienced advanced drivers. The XFs had already impressed in the media challenge, but the XJRS was making all the right sounds.
2, 1.
Scurra showing some real skills of his own. Mobile phone, crutches, a drink in the hand, quite the multitasker.
Guys, very fast, and they sure cuts those corners. So.
I'm a big pressure lead. But the thing is, I'm not the best driver when I get to the speed, so yeah, that's the only downfall.
With Eben assuming the brace position, brother Ryan was having fun in the back.
Yeah, I think I was scared there the entire race.
If you guys see the images on the GoPro, you'll see my face a bit, because yeah, he says we're going to take it chilled, but I mean, we're going quite fast up the hill.
The Jaguar Hillclimb experience allowed the guys a rare opportunity to get away with their partners, and it's pretty clear who calls the shots in the Smith household.
It was awesome, yeah, Flip. That's an incredible motor car. Flip 5 litres of supercharged power up those hills, and so I put my wife in front just in case I got a little bit nervous. So she managed to videotape the whole thing. So she's braver than I thought.
And no barfing?
No, she's strong.
Because you would have been in trouble in the back.
I would have been in trouble.
Which obviously not as powerful in the diesel. It's incredible how quickly a diesel can push up a mountain.
Yeah, obviously not the 5 litre supercharged, but it was still very impressive and still very fast. Still got white knuckles from holding on, so you can handle that machine.
Now, when are we going to see you guys driving? We know Smitty's big into his cars, but is it something that you're getting into? Is Jade convincing you to go the driving route?
I would love to get in the car, but I don't think I'd be married much longer. So yeah, we'll have to do it on the sly. You know, say we're going to play golf one weekend and then come and do the Hillclimb.
Who's been the biggest wussy?
I'd have to say this young lady next to me over here.
No, John Smith. John Smith.
He's much bigger than me, so of course I'm going to say you. But the minute we pulled off the line, I looked in the rearview mirror and those eyes were tucked in as closed as they could be. And I had to remind her every now and again to open them just so she could see the scenery.
But that's so stressful because he was clearly looking in the rearview mirror instead of focusing ahead on the road.
That's a very valuable point.
No, so I was even more terrified.
But that's why you've got a rearview mirror, because you do need to check what's going on behind
exactly,
you as
K53,
well.
It's very important.
Exactly.
We practice safe driving.
The fun wasn't only confined to the Simola Hill. Mum Champagne and Nice Oysters were a perfect fit for this aspirational brand and a unique opportunity to unveil something special.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, please uncover the new F-Type Coupe.
Oh yes, it is so good to be bad. The F-Type Coupe will certainly unleash your inner villain. DJ Nicole Da Silva mixing some funky tunes, ensuring young and old were feeling alive.
We couldn't have asked for it to go better. This is our first Simola Hillclimb, the Jaguar Simola Hillclimb. I think it's a brilliant brand fit with the resurgence of Jaguar and with the models that we're now bringing to market. We talked on the first night about having a foot in the past and a foot in the future, and that's really what we're about. And we had this amazing celebration last night, the Alive Party. And out on the lawn was the fantastic, the C, the D, the E, and then the F-Type. I mean, this is just absolutely a magical environment for us to start with F-Type Coupe, but actually to bring Jaguar to a far, far broader audience. From our point of view, the whole point is to get in now, understand this year, and then see how we can build it as well. But we want this to be the absolute premier motorsport event in South Africa, where all the big drivers want to come, all the great cars want to come, multi-brand. You know, we're not here to dominate. Yeah. We're not here just also to put up the posters. We're here to be part of this environment, this motorsport event in this fantastic location in Knysna. What more could we ask?